this ring was forged, it was made to withstand almost all destruction and apparently any mud and filth that was covering it just a minute ago.
I don't usually check to see what other sinners have said, but I like Michael J's explanation, so I'll play it right now.
The ring suddenly being clean is symbolic of its influence on the hobbits' minds. Its sudden cleanliness represents their unnatural desire to have it.
Powerful seeing stone thrown out of Sauron's tower so that Pippin can advance the plot through stupidity again.
In the extended edition, Saruman was actually holding the Palantir on top of the tower. He then fell and dropped it. So the sin here is CinemaSins sinning the theatrical cuts.
Andy Serkis isn't getting nominated for an Oscar in this scene.
Agreed. Hashtag give Andy Serkis an Oscar.
The stars are veiled.
There are stars all over the sky.
Pretty sure Legolas is being more symbolic. Sauron's clouds are rising with Pippin looking into the Palantir.
Oh no, who's gonna make the trip to Mordor to throw this thing in the fire? I mean, it must have similar powers to the One Ring if it can make Pippin try and steal it from Gandalf.
Jeremy seems to think that the Palantir was possessing Pippin in the same way the ring does. Because, no, that's not what happened. The movie itself makes a point in saying that Pippin is too curious for his own good. Have you ever heard the phrase, curiosity killed the cat?
Pippin doesn't remember that in Raiders of the Lost Ark that didn't work.
But it did work here, though.
What did you tell him about Frodo and the ring?
Oh no, what did he tell him?
He told Sauron nothing of Frodo.
Oh, why was I worried?
Jeremy yells at the screen cliche.
Does Pippin know any more than Sauron does right now? Pippin doesn't know where Frodo is, or even if he's still alive. And he should know that Pippin isn't the hobbit he's looking for because Frodo has put on the ring several times and he has seen him.
Canonically, Frodo and Pippin are related, and Frodo has technically only put the ring on 3 times at this point, so Sauron probably just assumed that they were the same person.
Why should we ride to the aid of those who did not come to ours?
Oh my god, you asshole. Because the entire plot of the Two Towers, that's why. Your ass should be dead like 3 times over.
What are you talking about? Gondor didn't help in the last movie. There was an army of elves, but they're not Gondor. Theoden is still pissed about them not being there when the Westfold fell.
Enemy thinks you have the ring.
Seriously? Can Sauron not distinguish between seeing stone communication and ring communication? Don't you think he'd have the metadata to understand which is which?
The fact that Pippin carried the Palantir and the fact he knows that a hobbit has it right now made Sauron mistake him for having the ring.
The elves are dead.
For doing what?
It's pretty to look at, but Minas Tirith is definitely the least practical city ever built. It's basically chutes and ladders come to life.
Says this as if these aren't the same movies where the entire plot revolves around destroying a magical ring.
Sauron has yet to reveal his deadliest servant, the Witch King of Angmar. You've met him before. He stabbed Frodo on Weathertop.
So he's revealed his deadliest servant then, right?
They were identifiable before this moment.
Also, even though no mortal can apparently kill him, he was easily fought off by Aragorn with a couple of waves of fire.
I don't see an inconsistency there. Aragorn didn't kill the Witch King in the first movie, so the fact that no man can kill him is still correct.
I can feel his blade.
Yet he can't detect you or the ring, even though you're literally 30 feet from the gate.
First off, the Witch King is riding a fell beast and landing on top of the castle far away from where Frodo was. Second off, that is not 30 feet away from the gate.
Are there really people just hanging out around the beacons just in case they need to get lit?
Yes.
Oh, there's another guy that's half man, half Wilhelm.
CinemaSins, the 2 Wilhelm sins.
Is there anything the Nazgul aren't afraid of?
Gandalf is the son of the creator of Middle-earth. That light was meant to scare them off and tell them to not mess with him. You try that.
Almost false, but obviously wasn't going to fall cliche.
You seriously need to learn what the word cliche means.
What of the wizard? I will break him.
Well, unless he starts shining a light in your face or throws a glass of water at you.
This movie already established that the Witch King is the most powerful of the 9. Heck, if you had seen the extended edition, you would have seen the scene where he literally broke his staff.
You wish now that our places had been exchanged, that I had died and Boromir had lived.
I wish that.
Yes, but do we really give a shit though?
Sitting this meme font.
The horses are restless.
What are you, the narrator?
He's an elf. Of course he understands these horses' restlessness more than man.
This is a pretty shot, but the logistics of getting up to this cliff and the reasons for holding this meeting in this location are questionable at best. Oh, I see, there's a road here. The existence of which totally makes sense.
Jeremy thinks the men wouldn't have created this path for themselves.
I cannot give you what you see.
But I hear Faramir's single.
Jeremy yells at the screen cliche.
He leaves because he must.
And there's no reason telling you why he left, because quite frankly, I can't believe it either. But if you must know, he's summoning a ghost army to help us.
To be fair, there's every chance it wouldn't work. Maybe they shouldn't get their hopes up in case this army doesn't come.
He's alive. He needs medicine, my lord.
How the fuck does he know? And if so, why is he the only one that can figure this out?
Denethor couldn't figure it out because he's insane. I feel like the movie made that perfectly clear.
You would think with that kind of destructive power, the siege of the city would be pretty quick, but nope. It goes on for hours and hours.
Because Gandalf is leading an army to fight back?
Abandon your post!
Oh, so this is the moment when Denethor's gone too far.
Denethor is literally telling everyone to give up and run, despite there being nowhere to run. He's giving up. Yeah, this is too far when compared to everything else he's done.
This battering ram is truly awesome. It's a feat of imagination, but wow, someone actually thought to spend way more time on this than necessary. Let's make it huge, and then we'll carve it into a wolf, and let's put a fiery stove in its mouth.
Remember the earlier scene when they threw heads at them with catapults? They did that to scare them and make them want to give up. The same logic applies here.
Let me get this straight. So after Gandalf knocked Denethor unconscious, no one decided to get Faramir any medicine? They didn't just leave him outside in the White Tree Court, did they?
I mean, they were sort of preoccupied with the battle, and also Denethor is in charge of Minas Tirith right now. They have to listen to him, not Pippin.
Arise! Arise, riders of Theoden!
How many people of Gondor do you think died in the time Theoden was giving this f***ing speech?
Didn't the orcs stop the fighting temporarily when the Rohirrim arrived?
Jeez, this is taking forever.
Why do you think this process of burning their bodies will take less time? Do you know how much they have to do? There's gathering wood, oil, putting everything where it needs to go, and more.
I am no man.
Well, good for Eowyn. Good for gender equality. But her triumph was totally made possible by A, the Nazgul's stupidity, and B, Mary's leg stabbing. I think Eowyn is a badass woman and deserves praise, but she totally deserved to kill this asshole without assistance so that this line has more power.
Are you serious? You're saying that this strong female character doesn't need help and it would have been more powerful that way? That's literally what Captain Marvel gets criticized for.
I would feel great relief that the Witch King is dead, but he never really did anything of note in the entire trilogy except stab Frodo's shoulder.
Didn't he kill Theoden, the King of Rohan?
I think everyone from the Wilhelm line died in this trilogy.
CinemaSins Return of the Wilhelmsen.
Oh, hey, I'm a hobbit. I take 12-inch steps and I'm just gonna waddle out the front door of Minas Tirith. Oh, what's this underneath a dead orc? My best friend in the entire world?
Jeremy thinks Pippin had just recently walked out of Minas Tirith and found Merry almost immediately. In other words, Jeremy doesn't know what editing is.
In Middle-earth, you can always rely on the infighting of bad guys.
Sinning to orcs for acting like orcs.
Oh, come on. I know it's a nice surprise that Sam has the ring in his pocket, but there's no way he would have been able to cut the webs from Frodo's neck, then grab the ring and the sword all before the orcs came down to take him. In fact, when the orcs do take him, there's no sign that the webs have been cut or moved in any way.
You have a point that there's no hole in the web, but Sam has Sting, an elvish weapon. It's sharp enough for him to cut it and get the ring out as quickly as possible.
There's so many of them.
Yeah, why didn't any of these millions of soldiers get sent to Gondor?
Because he didn't anticipate the Rohirrim or the Dead Man of Dunharrow, nor the Witch King dying.
You'd think this might be a good time for Gandalf to use his magic light power again, but no, he doesn't.
Probably because his staff was broken. Again, you know this if he's seen the extended edition, which most people consider the superior version.
Eagles!
The eagles won't fly over the lands of men for fear of being shot down by arrows. But now they have no trouble flying all the way to the motherfucking Black Gate of Mordor, where orcs and Nazgul and Sauron live.
Manwë, the king of Middle-earth, sent the eagles here to help them because, like Gandalf, they are never late nor early. They ride precisely when they mean to.
Why didn't Sauron seal off the entrance to Mount Doom with a few well-placed boulders? Why does this place still have a convenient walkway where you can throw rings and incriminating photographs into the fires below?
Because Sauron is overconfident. No one who has ever come here has ever dropped the ring into the fires. The whole reason why it fell down at all is because of an accident. Sauron wasn't able to predict that.
These guys died still not knowing exactly where that ring ever was.
Okay, I'm tired of this point. If you've been watching these videos, you know why I'm sending this.
Okay, now it's over, right? Fade to black, the ring is destroyed, everyone's reunited. Alright, well this is clearly the end. Pulling back to the map, closing narration. Okay, give the hobbits their little return to town, have some drinks, sure.
How do you pick up the...
Holy shit, this movie refuses to end. Okay, surely now we're done. Frodo and everyone else is on the boat, hobbits are crying, sun is setting, music swells. Oh my god, you whores!
I know this is a meme in the Lord of the Rings community that there are too many endings, but I think the movie has a right to do that because of how many freaking plot lines there are to resolve. So, sending the movie for finishing its story.
They've taken the hobbits to Isengard. To Isengard! To Isengard! To Isengard!